Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Friday the 15th November and everything. And today it's a bit different. Today it is a bit different in the world of Arsenal Football Club. Not as many news, obviously. Sorry, the old news stand about the injuries, about everything, but today I thought we're gonna do something a bit different. We're gonna talk a bit in detail with Mikel Arteta's panic buttons, sometimes during the substitutions, not formation, but player changes in the starting 11, kinda ruining our chances at a title, at winning games, in everything in general. Also, we're gonna talk about potential AS Monaco sporting director visiting Arsenal next month. And ultimately, we're also going to look at Arsenal's games, some of them at least, during this season, how we have played. Basically, we're going to look at the pass map, given that we're going to basically talk about the issue in the attack. Let's be real. We're going to talk about the issues in the attack because two things that are Arsenal's biggest issue at the moment. And I'm not talking about defense in this term. I'm talking specifically about the midfield, who is kind of letting our attack down, and I'm talking about attack itself because, let's be real, they're not scoring goals. So they both obviously are connected. So is our defense, but ultimately it's midfield and attack that creates most of the things, and we are doing almost nothing in that terms. We sometimes don't have a shot on target even. We maybe try a shot, but it basically goes in a row Z and stuff like that. So if you're new around here, of course, and you want to chat, leave that down in chat down below. New around here, subscribe. Genuinely costs nothing. It's free. It's fun. Let's be real. And of course, like the video, share the love around and everything. So let's be real. It could be a very interesting and very wild stream. I'm not gonna lie. Big up, coach in the chat. Big up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to be on time. Last few days, actually, I have started few minutes earlier. Generally, few minutes earlier I have started. So it is what it is. But today I'm kind of on time specifically. 500 by December? Not sure that's possible. I'm not gonna lie. I know people say don't be so negative, dare to dream big. I'm at the moment hoping for 400 by the end of the year. It's 45 days pretty much, month and a half left. So maybe by then we could hit 400 subscribers. That would be fantastic. But yeah, as I said, today we're gonna talk about potential Arsenal sporting director who could replace Edu's notepad in Eto, since Edu has resigned and he's on the leave and everything. He's not with Arsenal anymore. So we're gonna kick things off with Thiago Scuro, who is set for Arsenal visit amid ready replacements. Obviously, it was written on football.london by Tom Canton and everything. So shout out to football.london. But apparently he's saying that Thiago Scuro, as the CEO of Monaco, is currently linked with potential role at Arsenal. Let's be real, so is also Real Sociedad sporting director who just resigned, and he's ending his term at the end of this season. There are lots of rumors that could be the case that he joins Arsenal specifically because Arsenal have done quite a bit of business with Real Sociedad. Mikel Arteta is from Basque region. Mikel Arteta has played actually for Real Sociedad, and let's be real, that sporting director actually is quite decent if you look at certain aspects of how he has run the club, because he got a 6 times bigger, he basically bought Isak for about 12-15 million and sold him for 72 million. Obviously we bought already Merino. From there, we have Odegaard has played there, so definitely there are some connections in that regard. And most recently, Arsenal have been linked with Zubimendi. So basically, what we are doing is building a Real Sociedad midfield by the looks of things, and that could be the case as well, especially if he signs. The rumors about signing Merino Zubimendi will intensify even more. But obviously, let's be real. Transfer rumors mostly at this time means nothing because it's not January. It's not summer, so transfer windows are closed. Obviously, speculations will be there, but most of the time, as we all know, it's international break. And since there's no football in terms of club football, media has to write about something, so they start up basically the rumors. And obviously, Arsenal are linked FC. That's how you could call them, because we are linked with every single goddamn player on the planet Earth, and in the end we sign nothing. We are linked with players. Well, I think we still in talks to sign Young Villa, to sign Hussam Arwar, Deli Vlahovic is still happening probably and stuff like that. We are linked with Karim Benzema, we are linked with Luis Suarez and players like that, but ultimately we signed Marwan Shamah. Let's be real. And it's the same at the moment. We are linked with Isak, with Gyökeres. Apparently Isak is number one target. But obviously, expectations is Isak, Gyökeres for Arsenal fans, but in reality, we're going to sign Benjamin Šeško or someone else we actually haven't heard even whatsoever about. So take that with some grain of salt, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, and to be honest, it is like we're football friends in this level, because we signed basically people we know. And that is the case. Obviously, that even when Edu just resigned, there were rumors that Arsenal could appoint Per Mertesacker or someone like that as a sporting director. So Tomasz Rosicki from Sparta Prague and everything. It's just like it's Friends FC and jobs for friends all over the place. Like it's embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But for me, Arsenal are in a place where they should be signing someone big. They should be signing an experienced person in that role. And more importantly, we should be signing, I think, a sporting director that throws Arteta a challenge. Pep Guardiola said in an interview, in a very, very good way. I don't want coaching staff and sporting director and up hierarchy to always agree with me. I want someone who disagrees, who challenges me, who makes me rethink my decisions, who makes me feel better, and who makes me maybe make different decisions just because if everyone agrees with me, like, that means nothing. That genuinely is the dumbest thing you could have. That's what is beautiful about football and footballing fans as well. Because if we all agreed on everything, it would be hella boring. And let's be real, we would still have Wenger at the wheel. I'm not gonna lie, if we agreed on everything. Since we don't, it's a bit different story. And obviously, some opinions are a bit delulu, I'm not gonna lie, but we are not gonna touch on that one. We don't want yes men again. Can we get Marino? Exactly, we want someone who is ruthless, who's aggressive, who knows what to stand for, who knows players, and who actually would oppose to Arteta when he says, I want this player. But sporting director goes to him and says, I have scouted this player, he would be better. And then they could have discussions and everything. Because ultimately at the moment it feels like it's basically Arteta's way or the highway. We have seen it with players, and it looks like Edu as well got pissed off about it, and he just basically dipped. He jumped the ship and he basically left the process. At least that's what it feels like, but I guess it is what it is. We will never know the truth unless something happens. My pick since the news broke was Flamini to buy Kroenke's out and Ria's sporting director and Diego Simeone as the coach. Imagine that. Imagine that. To be honest, there were some rumors that apparently Flamini has said or mentioned is that since he's worth like 10 billion with his company and everything, he could actually buy Arsenal. there have been stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes, but ultimately I don't think Kroenke would sell Arsenal. Because basically what Arsenal does for them is fund everything they could do across the pond in the US. It generally feels that way. Because Arsenal get the most money, TV rights, Champions League and everything, worldwide sport. They get the most money out of us, so they can build their stupid malls, their stupid railways, new projects, invest money in Rams, invest money in Colorado Avalanche and things like that. But let's be real, if you look at those teams, they have won stuff. Okay, cool. We can all agree that they have won stuff. However, if you look to that a bit closely, Denver Nuggets has won one title, NBA title, in the last 20-25 years. And at the moment, since they won the title, they are not the top team anymore. They have basically regressed, and they are maybe, I would say, top 8 team in the NBA. Same goes for Colorado Avalanche. Same goes for LA Rams. Same goes for his stupid lacrosse or whatever that team is. They have won one title, Colorado Rapids as well, in MLS. In 2010, they won a title, and since then they have consistently regressed and stayed somewhere mid-pack. And that has been consistent with all the sports clubs KC owns. And Arsenal are already waiting for 20 years, or not, to be honest, 20 plus years for a title. And if we win once again, one title, right, and we have to wait another 20 plus years to win another one, it will be a shit show. It will be hell on earth. Let's be real. This is all up to Kroenke's. Kroenke's in that regard should just sell the club. Let's be real, because as a sports fan, as an Arsenal fan, as a football fan, what I want is Arsenal to win every single thing as much as possible. But we are not doing that. Let's be honest with ourselves. And to be honest, there are no inklings, at least this season specifically, that we're going to do it. There's no any proof that we can do it at the moment as well. So it's nothing great to look at. I'm not gonna lie. So in those terms, if someone could buy out Arsenal, would be kind of fun. Would be kind of amazing because ultimately, Mikel Arteta said that Cronkies are the best owners. They have full support. They really care. They're winners. They're determined to win. But ultimately, what do? We see nothing. And now that Mikel Arteta has this increased role, just like Arsene Wenger used to have, we are in the same boat. Wenger was the shield for Cronkies. Now, Arteta is the shield for Cronkies. Wenger in his book and everything, when there were rumors about not giving any money to Wenger to spend, when Wenger released the book, there was hope that he would actually talk about it. Where their money wasn't their money. And he basically keep it shut. He didn't say anything about it. Straight after that, Cronkies come out and say, well, there were funds for him to spend, he just didn't spend. And now basically, go figure, where their money wasn't their money. Because Wenger in his book didn't reveal that. Obviously, Arteta is not going to write a book. But ultimately, we will never know, was their money or wasn't their money this summer. Because this was the first summer in ages, or ever, let's be real, when Arsenal have made net profit on signings. Which club who goes for a title with these so-called ambitious owners who are winners and everything, with the best looking Spaniard we know, best manager in the world, because as Top Gunners say, there's nobody better, nobody can replace him and everything, goes into transfer window, signs Raheem Sterling, Neto, who is cup-tied, Calafiori, who's half the world hasn't heard about because he had half-decent Euros, and to add on top of that, Italy went out in group stages, and then we signed Merino when nobody also wanted Merino, let's be real. Personally, I wanted Fabian Ruiz or Barella from Inter Milan, someone like that. Like, which club does that? For a club that was 2 years in a row this close to winning a title and bottling it, let's be real, both times, we went and had basically a Crystal Palace level transfer window. And now I'm reading that Arteta is not impressed with Raheem Sterling in the training, and he basically will not play almost. Or they might even cut short his loan spell. Like, what is this all about? Then on top of that, there's disciplinary issues. We get red cards left, right, and center. Then all of a sudden, we don't know how to play football. Then there's a lot of injuries where there are two conspiracy theories going about that. Since either it's too hard for Arsenal to train because the training ground is so hard that we get injured basically by walking on it, and or the other one is that in training Arsenal don't do much physical contact. Because Gabriel fell on Merino, he just got injured, went out, and that was about it. And when they get physical contact in games, they basically are not ready for it. Their body's in shock. I generally don't get how basically Arsenal, in span of, let's be real, few months, have gone from up here to down here, basically. In all ways, shapes, or forms. In gameplay, in everything. Like, to be honest, big up Pepper in the chat. Big up my guy. Big up. The Pat Win the Dog. Maybe they're slipping on Win the Dog's poop on the pitch while training. Maybe that's why they get injured in training all the time. Who knows? We never sign people we don't... yeah, we sign basically people who we are comfortable with. But ultimately, you need people who are going to challenge you. And that is in every working environment. Myself at work as well. Do I agree with every single thing I get to experience at work every day? No. But ultimately, if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't learn from it and be better the next day at my work. Like, let's be real. You need someone to consistently challenge you, to disagree with you, to have different opinion. Because if every time you have all these yes men and everything, the team will never grow, the team will never develop, and ultimately manager and the upper hierarchy also won't grow, won't develop, and the club will go basically nowhere. Let's be real with ourselves. And ultimately at Arsenal at the moment, everything is a yes man thing. Jobs for the boys, and everyone's a yes man. There are no disagreements. Yes, we heard about the fact that in higher hierarchy, someone didn't want to sign Merino. There were questions about Calafiori. Ultimately, the way we are looking at things now, it was Edu who wasn't agreeing. Because Edu probably proposed different players. But Arteta put his foot down and said, I want those guys. Like, I don't know. This club is genuinely a mess. Until until there is some transparency in these things, nothing will work out ever. Until there will be accountability for these actions, nothing will ever work out. And one of the things Arsenal fans can do is try and hold someone accountable. Call this stuff out, but nobody ever does. Because Arsenal is the best team in the world, scintillating, dangerous, destructive. Arteta is the best manager, he cannot be replaced, best looking Spaniard we know, and all that stuff. Like, what are we doing? Kroenke should be replaced. Whole hierarchy should be replaced. Genuinely, for Arsenal somehow to change all these narratives we have about Arsenal, that we don't spend in January, the club is basically jobs for the boys, we put players on stupid amount of money, we sign subpar players, in transfer windows we are useless in selling, partially also in signing. This club needs to be ripped up from top to bottom, basically. That's what should be done. But until new owners come in, just like Ineos did with Man United, I don't think it will ever change. We will be where we are. We're gonna be stuck in the same cycle over and over and over again until genuinely something very dramatic will happen at the club and everything will go tits up. Shit will hit the fan and everything will genuinely explode and it will look very, very ugly. Until that happens, not sure. I genuinely am not sure. Sporting director like Zidane. I'd rather have Zidane as a coach, see what he can do at Arsenal. Why don't Arsenal hire Arsenal legends? To be honest, I don't want that. As a coach, definitely not. Genuinely, because, for example, we have seen Thierry Henry as a manager. And if he comes to Arsenal, he doesn't do great. Same goes for Patrick Vieira. We have seen him as a manager. That would ruin the whole legacy these guys have at Arsenal as coaches. As sporting directors, you may maybe try to make that argument, but again, you need some competence in that regard. Because signing even Arsenal legends for club higher roles on some level counts the same thing as jobs for the boys. Because there are certain instances where you need specialists. Not just on the pitch, also outside the pitch in the hierarchy. And those spots specifically, like sporting directors and everything, are the places where you need arguably the specialists the most. Because those are the places, those are the people that build the club. At least player-wise. Rest of the stuff manager has to do and the fans have to do. And it could be very, very weird. Fabregas, Cazorla should be working at Arsenal. Mikel scared, so hired per Wilshere Virtual also has left. Same like the strikers doesn't want competition. We are stuck. And it's never gonna end until the mindset changes of the club, of certain people in the club, until they basically call it quits. But why would they? They genuinely feel like pigs in fat. Comfortable, solid, warm, happy chappy, get the paycheck, and basically do nothing, it feels like. Arteta as a Spaniard should have made Fabregas his number 2 and put Santos on. To be honest, Arteta shouldn't be the manager in the first place. Let's start with that. Because ultimately, when we signed Arteta, there were numerous managers that were available at the time. We just didn't do it. Let's be real, Arteta also wasn't available. We just went to City and said, well, we want to take your assistant manager for our main coach. That's about it. That's what we did. Sesko and Williams were going to be a proper window. Dude, Sesko and Williams... No to Sesko. Williams I could make an argument for. Sesko, no. I much rather have Isak or Gyökeres if we go to those depths. But as I said, expectation from me as an Arsenal fan is Gyökeres, Isak. Reality most likely will be Šeško or someone again like Shamach or someone like that. I blame Kroenke before Mikel because one of those... Exactly. That is the thing. Josh is basically... Arsenal is Josh's thing. Stan cares only about USA stuff. His railways, malls, and Rams and everything. Because if you watch NBA or NFL and stuff like that, you can actually see Stan Kroenke in the stands or on the sidelines after the game with the team's hat on, with the team's logo on it, shaking players' hands. Whenever we have seen Stan Kroenke do that at Arsenal, we are lucky if he is even in the stands for some of the games. He's basically at none of the games. On top of that, we have Josh Kroenke, who technically is the main man who runs Arsenal from the KSC, right? He said in an interview, "Oh, I would like to be more, communicate more with the fans, communicate more." He says that and then disappears for 6-7 months. We never see him, never hear of him ever again. So how comes you maybe talk to some fans, see what they're feeling about Arsenal? Look at social media, what fans are saying about Arsenal. Maybe then something will change. Because they basically all are liars. They say one thing and do another. But arguably that's how politics work. But I don't want to get into politics about this whatsoever. We need a root and branch approach with these owners and this club. Yeah, we need to basically cut the tree at its roots. Basically get cronkies out. If there's possible, get a proper owner in. Preferably not American as well, let's be real. Because the teams that have American owners basically all are run like shit shows. Let's be real. Since there is no ownership for fans, like in Bundesliga, in La Liga as well, it has been taken away from Arsenal and the Premier League teams. It is actually awful. Let's be real. Doesn't have to be manager. We had lots of useless things at the club. Even Ljungberg as an interim manager lost reputation. Exactly. That is the thing. Many legends are at Arsenal who have become coaches or have had jobs at Arsenal at the moment are just memes. It's one thing when you go coach completely different team that is separate. You go like Dora the Explorer and explore other pastures, greener things and stuff like that. Maybe you want to be a coach and everything. But for me, never at my club. Genuinely never. Because, for example, Thierry Henry, he has a statue outside of Arsenal for what he has done for Arsenal. He's a proper legend at Arsenal. If he comes as a manager and he fails miserably, like he has before as a coach at times, he loses quite a bit of credibility as an Arsenal legend. We're never going to forget what he has done for the club, but his credibility in general will drop massively. Same would go for Patrick Vieira, Pires if he went, Petit. Although Petit is a real one, he actually calls all this bullshit at Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie. Please Google Arsenal technical director. Oh my god. Wait. Is it the technical director? Isn't that the guy who is basically the Aito, the Edu Gaspar's notepad and stuff like that? Isn't that him? By Sesko I meant in the last window. We only have Kai and he's thinking rather have said, dude, I rather have no Havertz whatsoever. Let's be real, because when we signed Havertz in the window a year ago, we had a chance to sign Kudus for 40 million. Instead we signed Kai Havertz for 65, put him on 285,000 a week, yeah? And now we are looking at Kudus, allegedly, according to rumors, and West Ham want 85 million. It's insane. Genuinely insane. Yeah, big up Pepper. You don't put Henry as the main coach, you put Simeone and make Henry the assistant. That could work. Henry as an assistant could work, he has done it before. Kai is lost, man, and it's sad how we have mids up front as Arsenal. Yeah, genuinely. That is actually sad. We're gonna look at it, by the way, in a second. We're genuinely gonna look at it. Anyways, potentially, Thiago Scuro, Monaco's sporting director, CEO at Monaco, is gonna come set to visit Arsenal next month amid the links of becoming Arsenal's sporting director. Thiago Scuro, the CEO of Monaco, is currently linked with potential role at Arsenal, blah blah blah, come face with Gunners, less than month's time. His Monaco side will visit the Emirates Stadium on December 11th. Obviously, that is the Champions League game, Arsenal playing against Monaco. Monaco, by the way, who still haven't lost a game in Champions League. As Arsenal look to continue their European winning streak in London. Winning streak in London. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it, guys. Winning streak in London. How about winning streak away? Because we have played 4 games in Champions League this year away, and we haven't scored a goal in any of them, lost 3 and drawn 1. And let's be real, PSV game, we rotated heavily, we drew. We went out to Lons, we lost 2-1. We went out to Sevilla, got 2-0 win. Okay, cool, that's a bit different. 2-1 win, 2-0, 2-1 I think. Win, that is that. But ultimately, when we go away, we are useless. And what success we can have in Europe if we, as soon as we step outside the Emirates, we forget to play football. We generally forget how to play football. What success can we have in Champions League? What gives you the inkling to say that Arsenal will win Champions League if we play like that? Seriously. Scuro, according to Di Marzio, is someone who Arsenal have considered to replace Edu after the Brazilian resigned. We already read that. Shut up. Arsenal were surprised to a degree at the timing of the news. Blah, blah, blah. Definitely they were not surprised. The emphasis is on the summer, with the January window already somewhat prepared for by Edu. Oh boy. And his understudies who have remained as a club, such as Jason Aito. So basically, we sacked toe-sucking barbecue merchant. He basically left, right? To have his notepad to replace him. That's what we have. We have Edu Gaspar's notepad at the moment as sporting director. Scuro's work at Monaco has been widely lauded, and after their second place finish in Ligue 1 last season, they remain set to be PSG's main rivals for the title once again, despite operating with considerably less resources. Wait, let's look at this. Ligue 1 table. Monaco actually are second. The thing is, I know you cannot see, but Monaco are second, 6 points behind. 6 points behind. Monaco are 6 points behind of PSG, 3 points ahead of Olympique Marseille, and 4 points ahead of Lille. Do they really gonna challenge? Because PSG haven't lost a game yet. Anyways, where were we? He has already had some discussions with Arsenal in the summer of 2023 as he worked on the deal to sign Folarin Balogun. So all these premises for Arsenal to sign, what's his name? Thiago Scuro. Sounds like a Latino backup singer or something like that. Basically, premises of him becoming Arsenal sporting director. And the reason we are linked with him is because he has worked with us because they bought Folarin Balogun from us. I just can't be asked with this crap. Genuinely cannot be asked with this crap. Sorry, not sorry. Oh my goodness gracious. Exactly, who is this guy? Today we were showing our two highest paid players on 20. Exactly. Kai Havertz and Jesus. 280 grand a week, 265 grand a week. One has been signed as a midfielder, one as a striker. As the experiment of him being a midfielder fails, you stick him up top. He goes in a good goal scoring form, second part of the season, when we actually were attacking properly. And Arteta thinks, oh, he's gonna score 30 goals, 20 goals this season, and we don't need him. We don't need a striker. But ultimately, let's be real. Havertz can't finish his dinner. Jesus only thing he can finish is genuinely, what can he finish even? Like, let me think. Jesus, what can he finish? Good point. He cannot finish anything. Same one. They both genuinely couldn't hit VAR if they were standing on a boat. Our two strikers who are leading the line every single goddamn week on the pitch, who we are relying on to carry us over the line to win us the league over Man City and now at the moment Liverpool. We paid them both combined 545 grand a week. More than $500,000 a week on these two bums. And let's not forget, we signed them both for combined 110 million. 65 for Havertz, 45 for Jesus. 110 million, and we paid them $500,000 a week. Every single one. Them both combined, sorry. And let's not forget, what Edu said in the interview. Oh, when we came to Arsenal, one of our priorities was to get rid of players who are on the bench and who are not performing and are on too high of wages. Fast forward few years, Arsenal have awful bench with players that are not good enough, who are not performing, and even in the starting 11, who are on even higher wages at the moment. You see the connection here? You see the hypocrisy here? You see the lies here in this? Brown envelope settings. Now that is genuinely Marquinhos, who is coming back in January. I'm saying, don't bring me a businessman as a sporting director. Bring me an Arsenal legend. Imagine Bergkamp going to get Simmons from Leipzig. He'd be on many players. To be honest, to get Simmons, we should be going to PSG first because he's on loan at Leipzig. On top of that, PSG want around 80 million. Not sure 80 million on Simmons is wisely spent. Kai Havertz. Exactly. That's what I was saying. More than $500,000 a week. 110 mil spent on them combined to buy them. And combined, they cannot score goals. Jesus scores 2 goals a season. Jesus has best goal scoring season, 14 goals. Havertz, whatever he does on the pitch. Monaco play well, what now? Exactly. Bro, with that wages, we'd have the players. But, dude, with these wages we are paying Kai Havertz and Jesus, you would think they both bag at least 20 goals a season and they get 15 assists a season. They have both won about 5 Champions Leagues and they win Premier League every season at least. On those wages, you would think they're the best players in the world because some of the best players actually in the world don't get that money. And let's not forget, this is just the salary. It does include the bonuses they get for certain achievements, scoring certain amount of goals, if they can score, obviously. Some maybe if they qualify for Champions League, if they win Champions League and stuff like that. Obviously, we are not winning Champions League, but there are definitely clauses. There are generally some rewards for winning. And let's be real, Cronkies are happy in top 4 because that gets them money. We sponsored them for all they want to do in USA. But as soon as we win the Premier League and the Champions League, you can bet your sweet ass that Arsenal will have to pay them, well, Cronkies will have to pay every single damn player a substantial amount of money in bonuses for winning either Premier League or Champions League as soon as if we did that. Do they want that really? Because the money they would have to spend to pay them is enormous, to say the least. And in the last few years, Arsenal had the luxury and the nerve, I would assume, to use this excuse to actually sign all these players on such wages. Like, what are we doing here? Arsenal are too predictable. No wonder we haven't scored a corner. Overload the back post in an offside position, run it and prevent keeper from coming out. All opposing sides have to do against us is what Shakhtar did. If you watch certain corner routines and everything, they genuinely said, we don't give a damn about the ball that's on the corner and Rice or Saka is gonna cross it. They genuinely just turned around, looked at their man they had to cover, instantly as the ball was kicked, blocked them out, so the goalkeeper can just run out and collect the ball easily. That's it. As long as they got a clean pathway for the goalkeeper to get to the cross, that was about it. That was it. And with this set piece FC crap, we have scored 2 set pieces this year. 2 set pieces this season we have signed overall. So we actually paid around 200 million up until now on these bums. Exactly, 200 million. And now imagine we for that money, like alone, we signed Jesus for 45, Havertz for 65. That's 110 million combined. You easily, for that money, could have signed Gyökeres, could have easily signed what's its face, the other one, Isak. Even Bruno Guimaraes you could have signed, and then you have some leftovers to sign Kudus even. 80 million on Bruno Guimaraes, 30 million, okay, add about 10 on top, let's be real, on Kudus. You could have signed them both for that money. The way we are spending money, the way we are wasting money, is genuinely alone a sackable offense for Arteta, Edu, Tim Lewis, Garlic, and of course Cronkies and all them men. All is this PR, all PR and no nothing. I'd love to know what clauses they have in their contracts. Ballon d'Or clause. I strongly believe there are certain clauses in their contracts that they are getting some very tasty bonuses if they win Premier League, if they win Champions League, because they can afford to do that now. because we have been this close to winning the league 2 years in a row. That is genuinely a big enticement because they could sell it as you could be the final piece for us to get it over the line. They can sell it that way. Arsenal are a PR machine. They definitely will find a way to sell it that way. And there are goals, I would assume certain games, certain goals, certain amount of assists and stuff like that. 100%. And they cannot sell tickets to fans at the 4... Exactly. The ticket prices only go up. Merchandise only goes up. Pepper, we looked at this yesterday, by the way. Remember? Arsenal, 4 days ago, straight after draw against Chelsea, put out PR that Robbie Williams is playing at the Emirates. Then, a few hours later, they released a tweet. There's new merch from Arsenal. Go get it now. Then we fast forwarded 3 days. New Christmas merch from Arsenal. It's all about PR and making money, not giving a damn about the fans. This new ticket ballot system as well has ruined completely Arsenal. From what I understand, obviously since I cannot go to games, the atmosphere at the Emirates is dead as hell. Only place that you can hear is the ultra fan sector. That's about it. Nobody else. You cannot stand in the stands in the stadium. You have to sit down all the time. You cannot shout anything somewhat offensive like you could like 10 years ago and everything. Everything is just insane. Subs lineup all exactly. Lineup is predictable. Well, not now, but let's be real. Substitutions are predictable. Same players, same positions, nothing else. When everything goes wrong, right? Instantly throw every single attacker on the pitch and hope we score. It worked against Bournemouth when we won 3-2 with Reece Nelson. Why wouldn't it work in different games? Why wouldn't it work against Bayern Munich away when we subbed on Eddie Nketiah to score as the winning goal? Eddie freaking Nketiah to score as the tying goal against Bayern Munich. Why wouldn't it work? There is no plan B, there's only plan A, and if it doesn't work, we're screwed. And then Arteta on the pitch just doing the YMCA and all that stuff, landing airplanes and everything. Then we miss a shot, he falls to the ground and everything faints and all that stuff. Like, is he doing it for the cameras or what is he doing there? Because let's be real, only thing what all of this YMCA type of thing and everything is doing and then falling to the ground is panicking our players. Because they don't know what's going on. Has the manager lost the plot or what is happening here? And I'm sure, I kind of feel very certain about this, that there definitely are some players who don't admit it, they don't show it as much, but they are sick and tired of Arteta. Trossard is the one you can tell it the most from, I would assume, because he doesn't celebrate the goals. He gets pissed off, although he plays like he's pissed, genuinely, drunk as hell. But there definitely are some players. Same goes for Bukayo Saka. He crossed the ball, Merino just whiffed the shot in front of net, didn't hit the ball even, and you could read from his lips, he said, how the hell did you miss that? And everything. Like, genuinely. And all these games when you play the same players every single goddamn game, last season, season before, at the moment we are paying the price. All of our guys are injured. Our most important guys are injured. And then Arteta has the nerve to play injured, broken toe Declan Rice against Chelsea and put him on the corners. Then he plays Ben White for weeks when he needs a surgery as a right back. And on top of that, Bukayo Saka, who is limping every single time, now has an injury we don't know extent for, who has barely come back for injury. He subs him on against freaking Preston when we are 2-3 nothing up. What are we doing here? And Odegaard, which from warm-up videos you can see is not still recovered. Because if you look how he plays, usually when he's fit, to how he was warming up, he was not passing the same way, he was not shooting the same way, his foot was in completely different angle and everything. Arsenal play him, then he goes to Norway, and Norway medical staff says, nah, no thanks, he's not ready, and he gets sent back to Arsenal. But what Arsenal does, says to Odegaard to paint it as, oh, I have to listen to my body, I need to know when I'm ready and everything. Like, generally, playing injured players alone is a sackable offense. And Arteta, basically, by playing all these 4 or 5 guys, was risking it fully to ruin everything. Because playing Odegaard injured, if he gets a wrong fall, twists the ankle again, he could be out for 5 months. It could be much worse, let's be real. Same goes for Saka. Same goes for Declan Rice. Same goes for Ben White and all of them. Welbeck is better than Havertz. There's no argument about that. Would love to have actually Welbeck at the club at the moment. I reckon these modern pro ballers have some mad clause in their contract that public... Yeah, definitely. They have. Because there are definitely clauses based on what NBA players have in their clauses. Because I have listened to podcasts from JJ Redick and players like that who invite players to his podcast and everything. There definitely are some insane clauses. They cannot disclose. They cannot say what, but they have generally indicated that certain clauses have. If you reach them, there are 7-digit numbers, 8-digit numbers, depending on how good of a player you are, obviously. But there are definitely some of them you get paid very handsomely, to say the least. Side hustle overtaking main hustle. Arteta has pretty much never rotated since we've been at the top 4 side. I'm sure if you go back and find when he changed the team, it's always due to injury or some... Yeah, pretty much. Arteta only rotates when players are injured or on red cards. Because I think there was a spell of games last year when we played the same 11 almost every single game. I know that as an Arsenal fan, there was a time when I said, I wish our players were good enough that at least I knew what players are gonna play. We got to that point. The thing is though, then I said, I wish we had proper backups and competition in the team, so it would make the manager guessing, the opposing team guessing, because you don't know, Martinelli is gonna start, or for example, Nico Williams is gonna start. Partey will start, or Barella will start. For example, Ben White will start, or Timber will start. Okay, Calafiori will start, or Miguel Gutierrez will start, for example. I want that. Because I know there are players that should be starting almost every single game. Like Arsenal have those players like Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Raya. They are the undroppables, as I like to call them. Same goes for City. They have those like Rodri, for example, and players like that. Haaland on certain occasions, mostly. But ultimately, you want competition, and Arsenal have none of that. It's no wonder that we are falling backwards. We have basically, last 2 seasons, we took massive leaps forward, 2-3 leaps forward, but this season and this last transfer window, if we took 2-3 massive leaps forward, we have taken about 6 backwards. We had 25-man squad last year, which was already the smallest squad in the Premier League. What Arteta does for this season, which is arguably the most important season in his phase 5, he makes it even smaller. Hello, brain come home. But they're not attackers cause they all ask defending first. Yeah, but they... Exactly. Bukayo Saka said in an interview that Arteta demands that his attackers defend first and only then go on attack. So what was the point in spending 300 plus million on defense that basically you are forced to basically push your attackers back to help them? Because it should come to a point where your defenders are defending and your attackers are attacking. But ultimately, at the moment, our defenders are partially defending because our wingbacks half the time feels like they're afraid of the ball. They never step up to make a tackle. They just go backwards. They go backwards until they are in their own box. And then making a tackle basically more or less will do an irreversible damage and a penalty. That's how far it's going to go backwards. And then you are forced. Bukayo Saka plays right wing back. Martinelli plays left wing back. Then Rice Merino drops deeper. Partey drops deeper. Odegaard drops deeper. Obviously Kai Havertz also drops deeper. Which means when we get the ball, we play the long ball to the front. There's nobody there. So what can we do on these counters? He's definitely not bold. Not what was it? Not realistically, not metaphorically. He's not bold, definitely. Arteta plays a player till they break and then he moves on to next players. Exactly. And we have come to a point where we play our right back. We have spent, what, 40 on Calafiori, 35 on Zinchenko, that's 75, 28 on Kivior, that's what, 70, 103 million on left backs alone, to ultimately play a right back as a left back and our best midfielder this season as a right back. So what was the point in spending 100 plus million on left backs alone if you end up playing your right back at left back and your best midfielder as a right back? So many mentioned the Premier League, but yeah, that is the case. That is the case. And let's be real, most of those managers don't even invert. Most of them overlap, put in proper crosses, and still get the results. Meanwhile, at Arsenal, stick to inverting like stink on cheese, nothing else. The Sakalonsam injury is going to hit our fan base. Dude, it will be nuts. When it happens, it will go nuts. Because I can guarantee you, when this happens, we'll be first to play Sterling there, or Jesus. And since Jesus is as strong as a piece of paper, he will crack under it as well, he will get injured, and then we will have to play Sterling there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Saka's injury will coincide with someone else's injury. 100%. Because at the moment we are already dropping like flies half the time. Because technically our defense had the biggest depth in our team, has the biggest depth in our team, and it in the beginning of the season felt like the most solid place. But during this season, our defense is shambolic, it cannot defend half the time, and at the moment we are in crisis defensively because half of the injuries we have is on defense, and at the end of the day, all of them are our wing backs. None of the center backs. Luckily, let's be real, all of them are our wing backs, and there's no replacement for those. Oh, make subs at 71. Exactly. What you expect if you make subs in 79th minute, and then you basically sell ESR, loan back to Porto Fabio Vieira. So that, at me as an Arsenal fan, shows that you trust Ethan Vanieri to sub off Odegaard and play him there. If Odegaard gets a red card, gets injured, you're gonna play Vanieri then. How many times Vanieri started in Premier League or Champions League whilst Odegaard was injured? Never. We played Trossard there, who ultimately also is now ruined by Mikel Arteta, because he makes Trossard to play in 4 different positions in about 17 games we have played this season. He makes him play left wing, number 10, number 9, or as a left number 8. How can player get some consistency, some momentum, if every single game he basically has to make a coin toss in which position he's gonna play? Yes, he has had stinkers. Yes, I think he's better off the bench ultimately. But how can he prove himself that he's good as a starter if he plays almost every single game in different position? We are lucky he hasn't put him in the goal still. Yet, at least. Big up Nathan, my guy. Big up Nathan in the chat. Odegaard hair flick clause. Oh, 100%. If he gets 200 hair flicks by Christmas, he gets, what can he get? Odegaard, what does he like? He gets a new haircut for free from Arsenal fan. If he gets 1,000 hair flicks, he gets, I don't know, what does he like? A free ticket to Paris Fashion Week or something like that. Big up, coach. 22-23 was Arteta's great leap forward, and I think that was his ceiling. Yeah, I generally think he has peaked. Fully peaked. And since then, he has regressed so slowly. But this season, he has regressed quite extensively. 100%. We need a strong, experienced left back and a right winger to give... Exactly. We need... Like, last year, when we were playing, we were thinking, our biggest issue at the moment is left back. Because whenever there were interviews with opposing teams' coaches, they said, attack Arsenal's left side, because that's the weakest part, their left back. This season, it's not only our left back who's the problem. Our whole left side is screwed up. Left 8, left back, left wing. All of them. Dusted, done and gone. An argument could be made that 22-23 was the best we've been under Arteta. We led 93% treble winners. 23-24 City were worse than treblers. Let's be real. 22-23 Arsenal team was the best Arsenal team under Mikel Arteta. And that season should have been the season we win something. Or the last one. At the moment, we gonna see slow but steady regression. Unless we spend like 200-300 million in the transfer window. But again, I say this. Do I have any confidence that Arsenal will get things right in the transfer window to sign the players we need? No, I don't. I genuinely don't. If we had Fulham fullbacks with our center backs, well, let's not say Champions League, let's stick to Premier League for now, because in Champions League we cannot even score in away days, so let's stick with Premier League. But let's be real, if we had Robinson as a left back, Kerkez as a left back from Bournemouth, we would be laughing in Premier League. The thing is though, none of them can invert properly. And Arteta doesn't want a wing back who cannot invert. I think as well, one of the biggest issues for Arsenal is that they're predictable in attack. Not as per se when we are in final third, but the fact that we always invert. Same player, same position. We almost never overlap. Because as Pepper said, 22-23 season was arguably the best Arsenal season. Look at that season. How many times Ben White was running and overlapping Bukayo Saka? How many times Martinelli got overlapped? How much space they got in the attack? At the moment, you very rarely see us overlap. We just put in random crosses. No overlapping, no nothing. We play like we have Peter Crouch up top. Big up Robinson. We need to sack Arteta and get experienced, good coach. We can motivate the players and buy right wing to get Saka run for right wing and strong defense and experienced striker. Exactly. We need a manager who knows how to get it over the line. Because we don't have players that know how to get it over the line. Because every single time it has come to a point where going gets tough, you need to dig in deep and grind it out. Every single time we have folded. We have screwed up and balled it. Happened 3 seasons ago when we should have finished 4th but finished 5th to Spurs. 2 seasons ago when we finished 2nd with 8-point lead. Last season when we should have won the league but we went 1-7, lost to Fulham, draw to Fulham, lost to West Ham, lost to Aston Villa and everything. We need a coach who knows how to win and how to install and transfer, because Arteta loves these catchphrases, the winning mentality into the players. And since Arteta has never done that as a coach, it doesn't look like he's gonna do it. He's our Brendan Rodgers ultimately, let's be real. It's almost a miracle that Saka has not had a long-term injury yet, but sadly we can see it coming. Oh, 100%. And if he keeps playing like this every single goddamn game, every single goddamn time, by 26, he will be getting injured almost every other month. It could come to that. If he doesn't get proper backup, proper substitutions, and proper rest. Because at the moment, basically Saka, since he's our main guy, one of the main guys for England, and he plays every single competition, almost every single game, he gets a rest, if lucky, a month a year. 1 month a year, if lucky. Besides that, it's games, training, international games, pre-season camps and everything. He doesn't get a rest whatsoever. I think we should rock a 4-2-3-1 with Saliba and Gabriel at center back, Alfredo Tomiyasu. Right back, CDM, Rice, Marino, Odegaard is at 10. Saka, experienced right wing, Gabi and Gyökeres at striker. Will we sign Gyökeres? I have no idea. Konate playing better than... At the moment, yes. Given how Slot has transformed Liverpool, it's actually insane. Not gonna lie. Exactly. Screw the invert, get the good players. And to be honest, if we didn't invert, we shouldn't even sign a goddamn left back. We have Kieran Tierney. He gets injured. Yes, we know that. But ultimately, if you look at his injuries, he has gone pretty much the same injuries, the amount at least in terms of length and cumulative days, as Tomiyasu, as Zinchenko. So this all injury prone, always injured doesn't also that fly that easily. If we didn't invert, we need the left back who can defend, who can overlap, who can cross the ball, and who can shoot. Tierney is just muy bien perfect for that. We play better against big teams because they don't respect us and leave spaces for us to attack. Against every other team, it's try to get corner and hope. Exactly. We put 46 crosses and we get set pieces and we hope that something works. But let's be real. It all has been figured out. We have scored 2 set pieces this whole season. What can we expect from that? Okay. In a second. Alonso will leave Leverkusen, win or lose the league this season, so we're good in Ancelotti if Alonso goes. To be honest, I have heard that Real Madrid want Xabi Alonso and Florian Wirtz. They want both of them. What happens to Ancelotti, I have no idea. Okay, let's move on a bit. Let's change this so you don't see that Scarloni face anymore. I would take Adama Traore. I don't want Adama Traore. He's another Martinelli, a beefed up Martinelli pretty much. With less tech in shooting, by the way. Or Osimhen, exactly. Or Osimhen. How they got him on loan, Galatasaray, Osimhen is also beyond the joke. They basically waited, all the transfer windows got shut down, they all closed. Only chance was going to Saudi or Turkey. He didn't want to go to Saudi, so basically he forced to move to Galatasaray. And Galatasaray have never looked back since. I agree with Nathan, no Traore. We need strong, experienced left back that can close down wingers and carry the attack and can put... Exactly! Kieran Tierney, in a nutshell, right there. NFL, pretty much, yeah, he could play a quarterback or something. Here we go. Arsenal are prepared to look domestically and internationally to find the right person to replace Edu. Candidates within the Premier League include Phil Giles, whose data, led recruitment at Brentford is held in high regard, and he has been discussed at big clubs. Some close to the club have suggested former Arsenal midfielder Richard Hughes. Jobs for the boys. Woohoo! Might have made for a good choice. He had not left his position as technical director at Bournemouth to become sporting director at Liverpool this year. Anyways, here goes more. Arsenal are considering reverting to a model where the sporting director is predominantly focused on the men's first team. In Per Mertesacker and Claire Wheatley, they have people in place to oversee the academy women's team. That could actually work if Mertesacker focuses on the academy, Wheatley focuses on the women's team. If we have a sporting director that solely focuses on men's team, it actually should be like that. Here we go, Edu's notepad. When Edu decided to leave, he reasoned that he built an infrastructure strong enough to withstand his departure. Oh, that is going well, isn't it? Edu has worked closely with Jason Aito, aka the Notepad, for 5 years and has sought to prepare him for a role as a sporting director in future. If Arsenal want continuity, the Notepad appears a sensible choice. While he will be given a chance to stake his claim, some sources suggest this position may come a little too soon for him. A little too soon? How about billion light years too soon? Aito has only been in his role as the club assistant sporting director for around... So, what? Wait. Some sources suggest this position... Wait. While he will be given a chance to stake his claim, as if he wants continuity, he's been at the job for a year and a half. What the hell am I reading? Arsenal are in a win now phase and may prefer a candidate with more experience. They may prefer, or it's a must to prepare for that phase. What the hell are we doing here? This club is a joke, man. Anyways, in other news, Serge Gnabry or Coman and Leroy Sané, one of these three are very likely to leave Bayern Munich in the summer. That's according to Pletty Goal. Would you take any of these at Arsenal? Would you take any of these at Arsenal? That is the big question of the day, arguably. What about Sané or Gnabry, right-wing Doku? No to Doku. And to be honest, overall, none of them are good enough to push Saka, if we want to push Saka. Jorginho likely to take over under 18s. Well, good luck him with that. He's doing his badges as we speak. Maybe that's why he's not playing. By the way, why haven't we seen Jorginho play in like a what it feels like last season. Like, what is that about? Like, seriously. If he hits the ground, he's a very good coach and manager, first of all. He just destroyed City 4-1, by the way. If he gets things correctly, and he's allowed to get rid of players like Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, and crap like that, and he gets the players he wants in, we might finish behind United if we keep playing like we are playing right now. Genuinely, United they are 13th in the table, but only 4 points behind us. It's generally a 2-game swing. We lose 2 games, they win 2 games, we are behind United. Doesn't take much, does it? Yeah, exactly. Lee Kang-in, no thanks as well. No, for me, not good enough at the moment. Not good enough. Anyways, what we're gonna do now for the last like 10 minutes, we gonna look at some passing maps. Bear with me here. Not a stat merchant, but we're gonna look at some passing maps. Here it is. Now, this is Arsenal's passing map. Hey, for fuck's sake. Arsenal's passing map against Chelsea. Wait, crazy to say, but we need to look at wingers at the level of Yamal. Exactly, that is the case. Look at this. This is Arsenal's passing map against Chelsea. You notice anything here? By the way, take a mental picture of this passing map against Chelsea, right? This is the passing map against Chelsea, right? Now, let's do it. Which one? Now, let's look at the passing map against. I don't even know what this game was against. I forgot. This is against Aston Villa. It's like copy paste pretty much. Chelsea, Villa. Villa played more attacking football. We basically played a bit higher. It's pretty much the same. Havertz is a mod diverted in the spot in the top of the center circle, but it's pretty much copy paste the same. Now, look at the Newcastle game. Okay, this is Chelsea. This is Newcastle. This is with Odegaard. This is without Odegaard. Is there pretty much any difference? Odegaard's a bit pushed forward and that's about it. Genuinely, that's about it. Here, it's the game against Newcastle without Odegaard. Have you noticed that something is missing here? Genuinely missing here. Is there something missing here? If you look about 2 centimeters to your left, there should be a point where Havertz actually should be in the game. Our main striker. Should have some point where we give a through ball, where we pass it, where we can hold up possession. Do we see that? Do we actually see that anywhere? Because this is against, Newcastle 1-0 loss. This is our pass map. Look at Newcastle's. Number 14 is Isak. Yes, they play a different shape, but ultimately you can see that Isak is pushed forward together with Willock. Isak is at the pinnacle of their passing. Havertz is in the midfield when Arsenal pass the ball. Look, this is Chelsea. This is how Chelsea passed the ball against us. Again, they have players generally pushed forward, like 3 of them. Cole Palmer, Neto, Nicholas Jackson, and Madueke. Arsenal, meanwhile, they have basically Saka and Martinelli both pushed up in the wings, which means they will get the ball, run down the wing, and then they will cross the ball. When they're gonna cross the ball, someone should be in the box. Havertz, Odegaard, someone. But when they cross the ball, since Havertz is starting his run from center circle, while the ball is crossing the penalty box, Havertz is only somewhere on the edge near penalty box. He's not in it, he's just near it. So basically, this cross is a waste instantly. This is genuinely a waste instantly. This is our passing map against Southampton. Looks a bit different, doesn't it? Sterling and everything, but let's not talk about that. This is against Southampton. This is against Bournemouth. It's insane. We play with 10 men. We play with 10 men against Bournemouth. This is the pass map against Bournemouth. And we have at the pinnacle, at the top of our passing, well, this is a rhombus more than anything, but let's just say at the top we have Havertz. Pushed forward, like it's the point where you pass the ball to. When we have 11 men, Havertz is pushed in the midfield with no one in the top to get the ball to. How comes with 10 men we do this, but with 11 men we don't? There is no outlet in front, in between the defenders, to pass the ball to. Against Chelsea we didn't, against Newcastle we didn't. And then we play against Bournemouth and we have that. Then this is against Leicester City 4-2. Leicester were kind of sitting back, so basically we control the ball, you can see that. And this is obviously, this was against 2-0 win against Aston Villa. Now I want to look at one game specifically. 1-0 at Spurs. I want to see this. I want to see this against Spurs. Pass map against Spurs. We are the away team. We won 1-0. We are playing much wider, by the way. Yes, Spurs have the high line and everything, but compared, look how condensed the midfield is. Look how condensed the midfield is against Newcastle. Look how condensed the midfield is against Southampton. Same goes for the midfield against Bournemouth when we lost. Same goes, well, this doesn't count, but yeah, and as soon as we play Spurs with the high line, we are spread out, open gaps and everything. It's actually wild when you think about this. It's actually kind of insane that when we look 99.9% of the time, we don't have a designated striker up top at the pinnacle of the passing near opponent's box in between the lines. We can try to give the ball to hold up so our wingers can run in between the lines and play give and goes and triangles and stuff like that. It's actually embarrassing. Havertz is our striker, but he is technically one of the furthest, the player who is the furthest back in the final in the opponent's side. I'm not gonna lie, Ben White is further advanced ahead in the attack than Kai Havertz, and that was against 1-1 against Chelsea. How our right back is more pushed forward than our technically designated striker? Where does that make any sense? In which universe does that make any sense? Like, these tactics and everything he does is genuinely absolutely nuts and insane. It's actually insane, I'm not gonna lie. Anyhow, let's see what you're saying in the chat. I'm not panicking, we can still win the league. I always believe in my team. Let's go Arsenal. Well, you stick with your guns. Let's just say it that way. At the moment, I have no faith whatsoever because there have been no proof that we can do anything at the moment. Havertz is on the same level as our right back. To be honest, for Germany, he plays left back sometimes. Chelsea have a better midfield. Yeah, that's true. Caicedo alone bullied us. 5'8" Smurf Caicedo bullied all of our players. We are soft and weak, basically. That's what our midfield is. Villa better midfield, Arteta as a midfield himself. Why? Exactly. Edu was a midfielder, Arteta was a midfielder. Should at least get good midfielders, but we get bums. How does that even work? We tried to sign Douglas Luiz 3 times. That didn't work. He had a chance to sign him. That didn't work. Like, how does this even work? So does Odegaard, defensive attacking midfield. Yeah. What about Moussa Diaby at right wing or Justin Kluivert? Moussa Diaby would be an interesting one, but for us to have a player like Moussa Diaby, we should be playing to his strengths. Expensive attacking football with open gaps, lines in between over-the-top balls. We don't play like that. If we play, for example, Moussa Diaby, Nico Williams, who else is there? All these space merchants we can have at wings. Even Gabi Martinelli. They would be or are fantastic for Arsenal. When we played like we played 2.5 seasons ago, when we were attacking expensive football, 22-23 season. I think Pepe even at Arsenal would have thrived in that style of football. But at the moment, since we play basically fall asleep, cure insomnia type of football, no chance in hell. Our mid has no tech. Bring me Wirtz, Musiala, or Simmons, Williams, Leao, Robinson, Tete, Semenyo. I would take Semenyo, Musiala, Wirtz, Simmons. Nico Williams maybe on the wing. I don't want Leao. He's hell overhyped. I'm not gonna lie. Estupinian should be good. Gil Hernandez, no chance he's leaving. Estupinian as well, not good enough. Everything's inverted in the midfield. With Mikel, sorry. It's like when he makes a sandwich at home, he inverts the salami in between the bread, basically. Robinson is an enabler by him, sort of left big cheap and big. That's the thing. Can Robinson invert? No, he can't. So we won't sign him. Let's be real. We need who can invert. Because if we want to sign a left back who doesn't invert, we have one at the club. But Arteta doesn't play him. That is the big issue. Di Lorenzo and Calafiori would be great fullback. Di Lorenzo is washed. The way he got cooked at Euros, it actually was embarrassing. If you look at the way they play, if you look even in Nations League games against France and everyone else, many times when France had their best chances, it always came through Di Lorenzo. Always. I think he's past it. Everything is swapped and in the wrong place with Arteta. They even shared. Exactly. Arteta conquered his wife, as he said. Zinchenko and White swapped their wives. His words, not mine. And everything, Arteta basically Arteta swaps everything. Instead, for example, in-game, as a different tactic, swap the wingers. Put Saka on the left, Martinelli on the right mid-game, for example. He doesn't swap those, but it's all good to play a right back as a left back and play our best midfielder as a right back. That's a good swap. But actually making a swap that makes sense? No. Exactly. Diaby will be forced to pass back at Arsenal. Same as it was with Pepe. Because if Pepe was playing at Arsenal 2 seasons ago, in 22-23 season, as a backup for Saka, he would have thrived in that formation, in that style. But since we now don't play that way, he wouldn't work at that. Arteta didn't like Pepe because of that. Like, it's Arteta's way or the highway. That's it. There's no exceptions to the rule. And I guess we have to make amends with that. We have to accept it. Well, we don't have to accept it. I will rant about it until he goes. But it's gonna be a thing until basically he goes. Let's be real. Grimaldo and Frimpong. To be honest, I wouldn't mind Frimpong. The thing is, though, Frimpong is more of a right wing back. And the way Arteta plays, it doesn't work. If we played 3 at the back, I would love Frimpong. But if we are playing 3 at the back, we don't even need wing backs. We have Timber, who can play right wing back. He would be phenomenal there. Martinelli could even try right wing back. Could work. Like, there are different options. Emery would have walked the league, and yeah, with our team, if I generally believe if we gave Emery 600 million like we gave Arteta, he would have won us much more. Much more. Cups, Europa League, let's be real. Maybe even Premier League. By inverting left back, fine, but don't play Calafiori or Kiwior at left back. Those are top nation CBs, but they played out of position. Develop the player that's all. Exactly. No player development whatsoever. You could argue that most of the players under Mikel Arteta have regressed. They haven't even improved. That is the thing as well. The players who have improved, actually, are the Arteta love childs. The Arteta cares the most. Saka, Odegaard, players like that, basically. The players Arteta actually like. Those have improved. Players that Arteta are not sure about, like Martinelli, Tierney, players like that, they instantly get exiled from the team. They don't improve. They have regressed. We are all seeing that. And also, Arteta has tried to replace Martinelli 2-3 times already. Goretzka, maybe might be past it. Locatelli is an interesting one because Arsenal were linked with Locatelli. Not sure how that would work out now. Bruno Guimaraes, Arsenal were linked with him and he chose Lyon instead of Arsenal. I would argue at the moment he might be regretting, although maybe not. But ultimately, yeah. I wish we had Bruno Guimaraes at the club. Arsenal were linked with him. Remember the announcement video from Newcastle and Bruno Guimaraes dissing Arsenal and everything? Kiwior, Niasar, they being great. Yeah, Kiwior, to be honest, has never been good enough. I'm gonna stand on that hill. ESR though, he ruined ESR. Only reason why ESR didn't work at Arsenal was because of Arteta's system. A good manager makes the system for the players, not tries to squeeze basically a round shape into a square form. That's the big thing for me. That for me is the big thing. Because ESR and Saka saved Arteta's job in 21-22 season. Let's be real. Ultimately, if Arteta wanted to save ESR, he could have done it. Just play to his strengths. That's it. But he didn't want to do that. How comes he was injured all the time at Arsenal? He's gone to Fulham, he's never injured. How comes? Again, it's down to Arteta, probably the training regime and everything. Kiwior at Brighton actually could cook, potentially. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna end it here. We have come to an end of today's stream, sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. Big up Marlon, Pepper, Nathan, Coach. Big up everyone in the chat who are here, chatted. Big up to you a lot. Thank you for your support. If you could do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new around here. Trying to hit 400 subscribers before the this year ends. You have been fantastic. Tomorrow's Saturday. Would be interesting to see what's gonna happen tomorrow. What we're gonna talk about tomorrow. But for today, my rant is over. I'm not gonna lie. Last one, when did Kiwior play in his center back position? He started every game at center back in the World Cup for Poland. Exactly. Same thing for Calafiori, left-sided center back, last 2 years at Bologna. He only before that played at left back. Then he got qualified for center back. Same goes for Tomiyasu. Yes, he was a right back, but also he mostly was a center back. And ultimately, center back and a right back or left back are two completely different positions, different tasks, different ways to read the game and everything. And to force players out like that, unless you have the footballing IQ to comprehend how and what and why to do, and you cannot scout the game with the same level, you're instantly doomed. And if manager doesn't see that, then it's time to go. Let's be real, it's time to go. Anyways, as I said, on that note, I'm gonna end it here. You have been fantastic. You have been amazing. Take care, stay safe. See you all tomorrow.